And then what do you think about Roy Nelson and Dave Herman? Nelson is a favorite of -210, what I have here, but Nelson's lost 3 of his last 4, and he's only 3-3 inside the octagon. Where did this line open?
I actually opened this one around -200 for Roy Nelson, and the public is betting a little bit more on Nelson. I think this one is another one. This main card is not a great card to bet at all. I mean, there's a lot of fights you got to stay away from. You can't really bet the first 2 straight, as we said,
Yeah.
and I don't think you could really touch this fight either. Only being because I think Roy Nelson continuously looks bad instead of getting better.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Dana White's in his head with the weight loss issues. You know, he's in a little funk for sure. But the sad thing is, you're seeing him as a favorite because he is the better all-around fighter. He's more technical in every area, maybe besides wrestling. I think that Herman he's going to have the size, of course, and the wrestling advantage in this fight. But I mean, as far as on the feet, definitely Roy Nelson's the better technical striking, even though it does look sloppy at times. He's got better BJJ. Wrestling is going to be kind of close because they both have solid wrestling. But again, I think that might favor Herman here. So if you're going to make a play in this fight, I think it might be on Dave Herman, believe it or not, even though I don't want to do it, only because Herman is taking this on short notice. And he has bad cardio, as we've seen in the past before, too. So I'm not sure if this fight's going to go 3. Right. If Herman's in great shape, I think he can maybe steal a decision because we've seen in the past, I mean, even in his last fight against Fabricio Verdum, we've seen Nelson struggle with size alone. Yeah. So Herman's obviously a different type of fighter, but I think he might be a little bit more dangerous on the feet than Verdum, even though we've seen his footwork and all-around stand-up improve last time out. I think Herman is just a little bit more wild, has a better shot to maybe end things on the feet. Right. So another tough fight to bet. I would probably stay away from it or bet Dave Herman here.
I don't know. Luca Fury, what do you think? Do you think Dave Herman might be worth a shot at +170?
Well, Nick said something that's very important here. He said, if Dave Herman comes in shape. And that's pretty much every Dave Herman fight for me. I'm always thinking, man, you know, if he tries in this fight, if he's motivated, if he has a good game plan, you know, even as his corner is kind of has the same feelings as me. Like, I'm sitting there watching the fight. I'm like, man, why don't you actually, you know, try to do something here instead of just, you know, playing around in there? And his corner in between rounds will be like, Dave, please try what we worked on. Please follow the game plan. And he just goes in there and just kind of messes around. And you think that, you know, maybe getting to the UFC would change that for him and he'd be more motivated. But as we saw in the Stefan Struve fight, sure didn't look that way. He gassed after a round and ended up getting dropped and TKO'd. And who's Stefan Struve ever dropped? So, you know, Dave Herman doesn't have the best cardio, doesn't have the best chin or game plan or fight IQ, so he's not a guy I ever really want to lay my money on, even if he is an underdog, especially only a smallish underdog like +170. So this fight's probably going to be a pass for me because I do like Roy Nelson to win, but I mean, look what he's done lately. Got beat up by Junior Dos Santos, beat up by Frank Mir, beat up by Fabricio Verdum. Didn't look very good at all against Krokop, who we know is just a shell of his former self. So I expect Roy Nelson to win, but I'm staying away from this. It's just 2 flakes, so I don't want to put my money on either of them.